Hey guys, insight number 3. Happy Wednesday to those who are following these in order. But anyway, or when I post it'll be Wednesday and in the States it's Tuesday. So maybe happy Tuesday to my American people. There we go. So we're going to go over to section 19 because this week's reading section 18 and 19. We're going to go to section 19 and we're going to look at verse 18. But before we get there, the introduction in the Come Follow Me manual this week's really good because it talks about Martin Harris, and this is his personal dilemma around, I know you've read it through Saints as well, because that's where the story is. Remember, Saints has the story, Doctrine and Covenants has Revelation. So they need money to print the Book of Mormon. You know, like right now, our tithing money does it. Thank goodness for that. None of us have to mortgage our houses and do that. That was Martin Harris's trial. That was his growth. The Lord didn't need Martin Harris's money. The Lord could find diamonds and treasures all over the place. He didn't need his money. He needed Martin to learn the lesson and to grow from that and to have this experience so that he could be fully committed to the gospel. That was his thing. And we'll get to that in insight number 5. It sort of ties in. So remember that point, but we're going to come back to that. So Martin had a big testimony of the Book of Mormon. He knew the Book of Mormon true. He had seen the gold plates. He believed in Joseph Smith. He loved it, the whole thing. It was on board. I'm in. However, his wife was not. And we all know in a relationship, especially spousal relationship, when one of you totally believes in something and the other one is negatory, it is not fun. And you can imagine the nagging and the flack that he was getting at home because he was going to mortgage their property to pay for this, something that she didn't want anything to do with. In fact, had conspired to stop it. So, not a great time for Martin. So he wanted some extra confirmation of this. So that's how we get section 19. But we're going to go to verse 18. So read the Come Follow Me manual anyway, because it talks a lot about this and how that kind of felt for him. And Saints is good too because it covers a few things. But, ultimately Martin made the decision to mortgage the farm and then later sell some of the property to finance the printing of the Book of Mormon, 5,000 copies. Back then, remember, they didn't... Oh, weird thing for the video. Back then, remember, you didn't get a Book of Mormon for free. You had to go buy them like you would go to Wickles and buy a book here. What's the bookstore in the States? I don't know. Barnes & Noble? It's just from watching TV. But yeah, it would be like going to the store and buying a book. And they weren't cheap. People were saving up to buy them. So, little backstory there. But anyway, verse 18 says, "Which suffering caused myself, even God, the greatest of all, to tremble because of pain, and to bleed at every pore, and to suffer both body and spirit, and would that I might not drink the bitter cup and shrink." So this is the Lord talking to everybody, but especially Martin, about what? His suffering in Gethsemane and his crucifixion on the cross, so that he could point out, I've suffered stuff. Every one of us is going to have to suffer something, and this is yours. And then he goes on in 20 to say, "Wherefore I command you to repent and humble yourself and do this thing." And that's what I've got written down here in my foot and side notes again, that repent is rebalance, to focus on the Lord. Remember, the Lord knows the big picture and to trust that. In 15, he gets a warning of consequence. And it's not a do it or else I'll, it's not a threat. It's not a do it or else I'll get you. It's a, this is danger. Don't do that. Don't put your hand on the hot element. It's going to burn you. It's a loving warning. It's not a, I'm going to beat you up if you don't do it. So, keep that in mind. Because it can sound really harsh in the old English type words. It's really not. Excuse me. All right. So, Jesus lived a life of hard. We're talking about doing the hard here. Because that's why he was telling his story. As in, I did it hard. But so can you. And we have a history in the scriptures of examples of doing hard. You think of Nephi, you think of Moroni and Mormon, think of Sariah, think of Alma and Amulek and Abish. I mean, there's just Book of Mormon ones. You can go to Old Testament, New Testament. There is histories of people doing hard. And that's what we learn from. But doing hard things brings growth, knowledge, and experience. With the Lord by our side, we can do these things, and He measures success and effort, not results. And I think it's really important to remember, because the hard thing, and we fail again and again and again, we think, oh, we've just mucked it up. No, He measures success by our efforts, not the results. It's really good to know that. President Russell M. Nelson, he said, the Lord has more in mind for you than you have in mind for yourself. Ain't that the truth? You have been reserved and preserved for this time and place. You can do hard things. Now, in doing these insights, I think, because I love watching Emily Freeman and David Butler, and I've been a big Emily Freeman fan for years. Years and years and years. I love her books. I was excited to see her at Time Out for Women when she was here. Didn't get to meet her. I met everybody else, but somehow she didn't quite meet me. But, well, I didn't get the chance to meet her. So hopefully one day that'll happen. But, in doing this, I'm thinking, oh, it's nowhere near as good as Emily could do. And I'm just like, I don't need to be Emily Freeman. Emily Freeman needs to be her. I need to be me. And I need to do the best me that I can be. So I do hard things, but I'm meant to be here in this time, in this place. I'm meant to be here in Hamilton, New Zealand, in this time, 2021, in the midst of COVID, in the midst of hard, doing my hard, doing hard all over, helping other people with their hard. And that's what I'm meant to do. And I'm not going to be famous like her, probably. Don't think that's going to happen. Probably infamy more than that kind of famous, but, you never know, right? But I just got to do what I do. And I'm doing what the Lord wants me to do. And it's hard for me, but I do it. And that's where courage and faith and valiant comes in. And I'm loving those words lately. And I'm really looking at trying to put something together around that. But we'll see. But that's that for this one. So have you been asked by the Lord to do something hard? Have you? That's the question. Have you been asked by the Lord to do something hard? Now for me, this that I do here is hard. I might make it look easy. But, I mean, I muck up a lot. I have improved. Apparently my videography has improved. So, there you go. The Lord measures, hey, there you go. Success and effort, not the results. So I'm putting the effort in. That's all we can do, right? Okay. Think on that. Have a good day for that one. And I'll see you for number 4. Okay.